Assalamualaikum. My name is Munazza Munir and my roll number is 22725. My today's topic is research methodology. First of all, we read about the research, that what the research is can be defined as the research for knowledge or as any systematic investigation to establishment. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ रिसर्च पढ़ लेते हैं हम। सिस्टमैटिक होती है रिसर्च, लॉजिकल होती है, एम्पिरिकल, रिडक्टिव एंड रिप्लिकेबल। इसके अलावा टाइप्स ऑफ रिसर्च आ जाती हैं इससे नेक्स्ट। प्योर एंड अप्लाइड रिसर्च, एक्सप्लोरेटरी और फॉर्मुलेटिव रिसर्च, डिस्क्रिप्टिव रिसर्च, डायग्नोस्टिक रिसर्च एंड ऑल। नेक्स्ट, प्योर एंड अप्लाइड रिसर्च को हम थोड़ा सा डिटेल में पढ़ लेते हैं। इट इज़ द स्टडी ऑफ रिसर्च ऑफ नॉलेज। अप्लाइड, इट इज़ द स्टडी ऑफ फाइंडिंग सोल्यूशन टू द प्रॉब्लम, यानी कि प्रॉब्लम के सोल्यूशन के लिए। दैन पर्पस ऑफ प्योर एंड अप्लाइड रिसर्च। प्योर, इट कैन कंट्रीब्यूट न्यू फैक्ट्स, इट कैन पुट थ्योरी इन द रेस्ट एंड ऑल। दैन अप्लाइड की कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स थी। उसके अलावा एक्सप्लोरेटरी और फॉर्मुलेटिव रिसर्च को थोड़ा सा डिटेल में अगर हम पढ़ें तो इट इज़ द प्रिलिमिनरी स्टडी और एन अनफेमिलियर। पर्पस, टू जनरेट न्यू आइडियाज़, टू इंक्रीज द रिसर्चर्स familiarity with the problem and others, to determine the whether it is नेक्स्ट हमारे पास डिस्क्रिप्टिव रिसर्च है। डिस्क्रिप्टिव रिसर्च की भी 4 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स यहाँ पे मेंशन है। Data are collected using observations, interview, mail and questionnaires. Then इसका purpose, it can focus directly on the theoretical point. ये purpose जो है वो इसका कि ये directly theoretical point पे focus करती है इस तरह की रिसर्च। हमारी नेक्स्ट डायग्नोस्टिक स्टडी आ जाती है। डायग्नोस्टिक स्टडी, it is directed towards the discovering what is the happening, why it is happening and what can be done about it. Aims at identifying the causes of the problems and the possible solutions for it. Then next इसके बाद हमारी है आ जाएगी पर्पस आ जाती है इसकी। This study may also be concerned with discovering and testing whether certain variables and are associated to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which evaluation studies. It is one type of applied research. Applied research की एक type है evaluation studies जो कि evaluating purpose के लिए इस्तेमाल होती है, यानी कि टीचिंग प्रैक्टिसेस को evaluate करने के लिए। इसकी पर्पस में भी यही चीज़ आ जाएगी कि it directed to assess or appraise the quality and quantity of an activity and its performance, to specify its attributes and contributions. Next है हमारी action research. Researchers attempts to study action, for example eradication of malaria, maritime navigation, यानी कि इन टॉपिक्स पर एक्शन रिसर्च। वैसे नॉर्मली एक्शन रिसर्च जो है वो क्लासरूम के अंदर होती है टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग प्रैक्टिसेस को बेटर बनाने के लिए, और यही इसका पर्पस है। वैसे इसको अगर हम प्रोफेशनली देखें तो ये बेसलाइन सर्वे है प्री एक्शन सिचुएशन का, यानी कि एक सिचुएशन मौजूद है उसका बेसलाइन सर्वे। देन आ जाती है हमारी एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिसर्च। Experimental research is commonly used in sciences such as sociology and psychology, physics, chemistry, biology and medicine. इसकी पर्पस में आ जाता है, इसके नाम से शो हो रहा है कि experiments are conducted to be able to predict the phenomena. नेक्स्ट है हमारे पास analytical study. Analytical study is a system of procedures and techniques of analysis applied to। पर्पस आ जाती है इसकी, इट एम्स एट टेस्टिंग हाइपोथेसिस एंड स्पेसिफाइंग एंड इंटरप्रेटिंग रिलेशनशिप इट। एंड द नेक्स्ट इज हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च, द सिस्टमैटिक collection and evaluation of data related to past occurrences in order to describe causes, effects and trends of. And the next it's also discussed its purpose, to draw explanations and generalizations from the past trends in order to understand the present to the anticipate the future. हमारी लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट सर्वे रिसर्च है. सर्वे रिसर्च इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एरियाज ऑफ मेजरमेंट इन अप्लाइड सोशल रिसर्च. सर्वे रिसर्च इज़ broader than all researches and simple also. Its purpose is to always conducted in the natural settings. A survey covers a definite geographical areas, a city, district or state. Case study is the research methodology common in social science. It is based on an in-depth investigation of the single individual. Next, इसकी purpose पढ़ लेते हैं. To examine limited number of variables. Case study methods involves an in-depth longitudinal examination. Field research. Field research आ जाती है. Field research has traditionally been thought different from methods of research conducted in the laboratory or academic settings. Then its purpose is to. The term research design means drawing for research. It is systematic planning of conducting research. It aims to achieve the many goals. Its definition is as the arrangement of conditions for collection and analysis of data in the manner that aims to combine the relevance, need and purpose में आ जाता है. It gives reality to research. It helps to modify the research if any difficulties. Next, that is the research design process. Selection of research topic, framing research design, framing sampling design, collection of data, writing the research reports and data analysis editing also. Next, their characteristics. Research design की characteristics में आ जाती हैं theory grounded environment, feasibility of implementation, redundancy and efficient. It should be flexible, it should be economical, it should be unbiased, it should be fulfill the objectives of research, it should be more appropriate to all the aspects of the research, it should guide him to achieve the correct results, it provides scientific base for his research. Functions of the research design. Research design का काम क्या है? It provides a blueprint of the research. It limits the boundaries of the research activities. It enables investigations to anticipate the aims. Next, components of research design. Title of the investigation. It is its component. Purpose of the study. Review of the related literature. Statement of the problem and the scope of investigation. Objectives of the study, variables, hypothesis, selection of sample data, collection and analysis of data. Types of research design, experimental designs and non-experimental designs. There are two types. Then now we discuss about the explanation of the research designs in the next context. There are two types, quasi-experimental and experimental. Experimental designs के भी further two types हैं, quasi-experimental and experimental. Non-experimental design. Non-experimental design means quasi-experimental design, case study designs, method, content analysis, and ethnography, focus groups. Never hypothesis भी इसका एक part है. The purpose of hypothesis testing is to determine whether there is enough statistical evidence in favor of certain belief about the participant. Define hypothesis, a tentative statement about the population parameter that might be true or wrong. The difference between an hypothesis and a problem. Both an hypothesis and the problem contribute to the body of the knowledge which supports or refutes an conclusion. When is an hypothesis formulated? An hypothesis is formulated after the problem has been stated and the literature study has been finished. Purpose and function of an hypothesis. It offers explanations for the relationships between those variables that can be empirically tested. It furnishes proof that the researcher has sufficient background knowledge to enable him or her to make suggestions in order to extend the existing knowledge. It gives direction to an investigation. Next is the characteristics of an hypothesis. It should have elucidating power. It should strive to furnish an acceptable explanation of the phenomenon. It must be verifiable. Also, we discuss its types. Types of hypothesis. There are two types here: descriptive hypothesis and relational hypothesis. Descriptive hypothesis, we have to discuss its examples. The rate of unemployment among arts graduates is higher than that of the commercial or a commerce graduates. And then the example of relational hypothesis: families have higher causal hypothesis and working hypothesis. It states that the existence of or a change in one variable causes or leads to an effect on another variable. Null hypothesis and statistical hypothesis. These hypotheses are formulated for testing statistical significance since the form of the convenient hypothesis. Common sense hypothesis, complex hypothesis, analytical hypothesis. Common sense hypothesis: example, shop assistant in small shops lack motivation. Characteristics of a good hypothesis: conceptual clarity, specificity, testability, availability of techniques, theoretical relevance, consistency, objectivity, and simplicity. Source of hypothesis: theory, observation, analogies, intuition, and personal experience, findings of studies, state of knowledge, culture, continuity of the research. Next is the sampling. When we discuss about the sampling is generally a process of selecting a small number of elements from a larger defined target groups of elements such that the information gathered from the small groups. Basics of sampling theory: population, element, define target population, sampling unit, sampling frame, sampling error. Sampling error is any type. Sampling frame. Sample frame error occurs when certain sampling methods. Sampling methods are probability sampling, non-probability sampling. Types of sampling method: probability sampling, simple random sampling, certified random sampling, cluster sampling. Non-probability, convenience sampling, judgment sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. Simple random sampling is a method probability sampling in which every unit has an equal non-zero chance of the being selected. Systematic random sampling. Systematic random sampling is the method of probability sampling in which the defined target population is ordered and the sample is selected according to position using a skip interval. Next is the steps in drawing a systematic random sample. Obtain a list of units, determine the number of units, compute the skip interval, determine the random start points. Stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling is the method of probability sampling in which the population is divided into different subgroups and samples are selected from each. Next is the steps in drawing a stratified random sampling. Divide the target population. Cluster sampling is the sampling technique used when the natural grouping are evident in statistical population. Next one is the non-probability sampling methods. Convenience sampling relies upon the convenience of an access. Judgment sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. Convenience samples. Samples drawn at the convenience of the interviewer. People tend to make the selection at familiar locations and choose respondents. Factors to consider in sampling design: research objectives, degree of accuracy, resources, time frame, knowledge of the target population, research scope, and statistical approaches. Data collection. Data collection possibilities are wide and varied, with any one method of collection not inherently better than any other. Each has the pros and cons that must be weighted. Surveys. Surveying involving the gathering information from individuals using a questionnaire. Surveys can reach a large number of respondents, generate standardized, quantifiable, and empirical data, as well as some qualitative data, and offer the next one is the survey type: descriptive or explanatory. It can be involve entire population or sample of population, capture a moment of a map, trends, can be administered in a number of ways. Next is the survey construction. Survey construction involves formulating questions and response categories, and writing up background information and instructions, working through organizations and length, determining layout and design. Interviewing involves asking respondents a series of open-ended questions. Interviews can generate both standardized quantifiable data and more in-depth qualitative data. However, the complexities also are involved in it. Interview type: formal or informal, structured or unstructured, can be one-on-one or involve groups. Next one is the conducting interviews. When conducting your interviews, you will need to question, prompt, and probe in ways that help you gather rich data, actively listen, and make sense of what is being. Next is the observation. Observation relies on the researcher's ability to gather data through their senses and allows researchers to document actual behavior rather than the responses. Observation type. Observation can range from non-participant to participant, candid to covert, from structured to unstructured. The observation process. The observation process is sometimes treated casually, but it is a method that needs to be treated as rigorously. Experimentation explores cause and effect relationships by manipulating independent variables in order to see if there is a corresponding effect on it. Experimentation is a pure experimentation, requires both the controlled environment and the use of randomly assigned control groups. This can be difficult to achieve in the human real world experiments. There are many experiments that can only be carried out in the messy and uncontrolled environments of the real world. So the search for cause and effects will require efforts. Advantages and disadvantages: quick and easy to administer, can get a large amount of information in the short time, allows more. Next is the face-to-face interview. Most informative method of qualitative data collection, because the human interaction of face-to-face interviews provides the opportunity to probe for insight and build the new hypothesis. When web-based questionnaires and computer-assisted personal interviewing (CAPI). Any question you have about this, so you can, I will answer about all those questions you need or require.